Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for January 13, 2024. And in the news this afternoon, court hears a timeline of Beachy Stout and Tonya McDonald's relationship. The Home Circuit Court on Friday afternoon heard that the relationship between Everton Beachy Stout McDonald and his second wife Tonya began 2 years after he met her in 2007 at her mother's shop in Dover, St. Mary. The court also heard that when his first wife Marlene found out about their relationship, it caused problems. This was revealed in one of two statements read out in court by the clerk. Mr. McDonald gave the statement to the police on July 31, 2020. In the 16-page statement, Mr. McDonald said he and Tonya, who was 20 years old when they met, remained friends. The court heard that he assisted her with evening classes at Titchfield High School, paid for a university course she was enrolled in, and an apartment. He said they became intimate 2 years after they met in 2007. Soon after, his wife found out about the affair. In the same statement, Mr. McDonald said he was depressed talking about the murder of his first wife, Marlene. His first wife was killed in 2009. Mr. McDonald and Tonya got married in 2011 and were living together up to 2020 when she was murdered. The court heard that the father of four, who is $48 million in debt, jointly owned the business and the properties with Tonya, his son and grandson. The court also heard that he has US $1.5 million in an account and an Omni Educator account from his marriage with Marlene. But Mr. McDonald, who has been operating businesses for 40 years, said he was unable to afford life insurance. The statement also detailed the couple spending time together before Tonya was killed. He also told the police that he had issues with the 33-year-old being unfaithful. In the second statement Mr. McDonald gave to the police, he said when he found out that his wife was having an affair with a police officer, he visited the cop's home and confronted him. But the cop denied the affair, stating that he and Tonya were just friends. Mr. McDonald said he was traumatized by Tonya's death and that he did not kill his wife despite allegations on social media. His co-accused, Oscar Barnes, is also on trial for the July 20, 2020 murder of Tonya McDonald. The trial continues on Tuesday. JC distances itself from convicted former groundsman. The Jamaica College Board of Management, in the wake of media reports on the conviction and the pending sentencing of former school groundsman Courtney Seymour on sex assault charges, has distanced itself from the former employee while insisting that the school has a zero-tolerance policy for this type of abhorrent behavior. Seymour is to be sentenced in the Halfway Tree Parish Court on February 16 this year after pleading guilty to a charge of indecent assault which occurred sometime in May 2021 while the child, whose mother is a member of staff, was on the campus. He was arrested last October while working at the funeral service of a prominent Jamaica College alum on the grounds of the all-boys high school, despite his swift resignation in 2021 following the incident. Jamaica College Chairman Lance Hilton, in a statement to the media on Thursday, which he said was issued in the interest of transparency, correction of inaccurate reports, said the school's principal at the time took immediate action, advised the mother to report the matter to the police, and provided transportation for mother and the child when told of the incident. Hilton said a swift resignation was procured from Seymour after a strong discussion with the principal. In addressing the issue of how Seymour happened to be on the school grounds after that swift resignation, Hilton said the school at no time rehired the groundsman as a member of staff, but over 2 years after the incident, he was engaged by the maintenance department on some weekends as a contracted casual laborer to help with the cleanup before and after events. According to the board chairman, Jamaica College regretted the fact of the groundsman being engaged and is implementing more robust measures to be communicated to all staff to prevent the presence on campus of persons considered unsuitable. We will also review the process of vetting employees to determine whether this area needs strengthening, he said. The school, while stating that any effort that results in justice being done is welcomed, in the meantime said it is not aware of any precedent or requirement for a report to have been made to the Ministry of Education in these circumstances, as the employee resigned and no student of Jamaica College was involved. The child in question attends a high school in St. Andrew. Jamaica College, in the meantime, said it will be reviewing the reporting policy of matters and establishing a clear protocol in consultation with the Education Ministry. A well-placed source had told the news that the ministry was alerted about the incident from another source. It said school officials, when contacted by the ministry, indicated that a report was given to the police on the day of the incident and that it was being investigated. 12 months is still enough time to prosecute breaches of NRCA Act, says Fraser Binns. Shadow Minister for Environment and Land, Senator Sophia Fraser Binns, is opposing the stance taken by civil society advocate Carol Narcisse that the 12-month statute of limitation outlined in the Natural Resources Conservation Authority Act allows those in high office to get away with breaches. Section 37 of the NRCA Act bars the prosecution of any breach after the lapse of 12 months from the date of commission of the alleged breach to when the relevant authority is made aware of the infraction. The matter was brought to light after the Director of Public Prosecutions, in her ruling made public on Thursday, said National Water Commission President Mark Barnett and his wife, Annette Francis Barnett, cannot be prosecuted for breaching the environmental permit for their development located at 11 Charlie Mount Drive, Kingston 6, as the time has expired. Ms. Llewellyn said given that the breach was first identified by the National Environment and Planning Agency on December 17, 2020, prosecution should have been initiated by December 17, 2021. Senator Fraser Binns says while she is not opposed to an extension of the statute of limitation, there was more than enough time for prosecution to take place had the NEPA taken prompt action in that case.
I do not agree with Ms. Narci's position. On the one hand, I believe that there could be a longer period. An entity that is serious about what it is supposed to do, like NEPA, would have ensured that 12 months would not have been a short period. If NEPA did what it was supposed to do, then it would be more than able to commence legal action within the 12-month period. I don't believe that the provision as is allows the connected to get away with breaches. What it boils down to is the level at which our enforcement entities undertake their responsibility and the seriousness that they attach to it.
Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn, responding to a question about the feasibility of the one-year window for prosecution, said that given the importance of the environment, she believes that the timeline was established to encourage prompt legal action.
I suspect that you probably have these quasi-civil, quasi-criminal, where you have regulatory, assigning these regulatory offenses, you may have them. And I can only think that because the nature of the impact on the environment may be severe, Parliament probably wanted the decision to prosecute to be made very quickly so that you could remedy the breach.
Okay.
Because the affecting of the environment can have deleterious effects.
NAJ to meet with the Finance Ministry next week over compensation issues. President of the Nurses Association of Jamaica, Dawn Marie Richards, says the association will meet with the Ministry of Finance next week to resolve the group's compensation issues. Several categories of nurses assigned to hospitals in the Southeast Regional Health Authority called in sick Friday morning, reportedly over a lengthy wait for retroactive payments for seasonal work. The news was informed that the offer is for the outstanding allowance to be made in 2026. However, the disgruntled nurses are not in agreement with that plan. The sick-out started Thursday on the 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift, but escalated Friday. Regional Director of the Southeast Regional Health Authority, Errol Green, said registered nurses, midwives, and enrolled nurses have taken action which is affecting the Kingston Public, Victoria Jubilee, Spanish Town, and the Princess Margaret hospitals. Mr. Green said information was received Thursday which suggested possible disruption in services and the contingency measures which were put in place at the hospitals, including supervisors and the nurses in training, filling gaps. He said KPH is most affected as 74 of 176 nurses called in sick. Similarly, 22 registered nurses at the Spanish Town Hospital reported sick from the 92 scheduled for duties Friday. At the Victoria Jubilee Hospital, 13 midwives and registered nurses are out sick.